Hey guys, Kiwi here. In this video, I'll be breaking down and discussing a certain moment involving Negan and Judith during the Season 9 mid-season premiere of The Walking Dead. With that being said, major warning of spoilers for everything in the show up to Season 9, Episode 9, and let's jump right into this. So, in Episode 909, we saw Negan escape Alexandria and experience freedom for the first time in 6 years, just to end up going back to Alexandria all on his own at the end of the episode. But that being said, I wanted to actually focus on one key moment near the beginning of the episode when Negan tries hopping over the wall and Judith stops him momentarily. Although I love everything that happened during this scene, there's the obvious elephant in the room: why did Negan wait until daytime to leave? We clearly see the jail cell open during the night that Jesus was murdered in episode 908, and then in 909 we see Negan sneaking around Alexandria for a while just for a hard cut to happen from night to day, showing Negan now geared up with supplies and ready to go. As soon as this happened, the obvious question popped into my head: what the heck, why did he wait until the sun rose to escape? Like, it just makes no sense. I guess he took a minute getting ready to leave, just kind of enjoying the freedom and looting supplies. But shouldn't you just take something that you see at first glance, maybe loot some food and water and get the heck out of there? It's completely illogical to loom around for hours just, meandering about as if you have nothing to be worried about. It seems as though they did this jump cut to morning in order to get that confrontation between Judith and Negan, and it just seems kind of forced. And as I've said, although I do enjoy the back and forth between them, it's pretty obvious that they did the jump cut today just to make that confrontation happen. Funny enough though, I went on Twitter and found an article interview with Angela Kang and Greg Nicotero discussing a few different illogical moments with the episode, and this was one of them. So let's go ahead and take a look to see what they said, a link in the description. Scrolling down to the point in the article that talks about this situation, let's read through it. A quick watch of the show made it appear that Negan was out of his cell for a majority of the night just wandering around Alexandria. Angela Kane says that that wasn't the case. On Sunday's episode, it looks like Negan escapes his cell in the evening only to wait around until broad daylight the following morning to try and leave Alexandria. What gives, and more importantly, why didn't Judith notice Negan in her bedroom while he entered in the middle of the night? According to Kang, it's tough to tell, but Negan didn't escape from his cell in the middle of the night. It was actually very early in the morning. Maybe that's a little too confusing. Part of it is he had escaped probably closer to dawn, explained Kang. The daylight may have not totally worked for us. They actually did shoot it first thing in the morning at first light when he's escaping, but it gets bright very quickly. Okay, so after reading this, their excuse or explanation is that apparently Negan didn't escape until early morning, closer to dawn. They then go on to addressing the classic problem of needing to film during a certain time of day, but when in reality, the natural sunlight moves very quickly. They've had this issue in the past, mainly during early episodes of The Walking Dead, where the time of day or night will switch very quickly from one to the other. You can see the shadows in the background actually changing position, sometimes randomly in the middle of a conversation or in the middle of a scene, because they're trying to film during a certain time of day, but the scene usually requires multiple takes, and by the time they finally have it all filmed, the sun has moved a bunch, making what they filmed not seem completely chronological, as the natural lighting is constantly changing. Now, in the past, they've avoided this issue altogether, especially in recent seasons, by just having a hard cut from day to night or vice versa right before a big scene with a ton of action or something like that, so that they can film the whole thing with it either being completely dark out or completely bright out without having to worry about losing their natural lighting as they need it. So although that reason is completely understandable, like it must be annoying having to deal with natural lighting, I could only imagine, I feel like they could have still done a few subtle things to make the jump cut from night to day not stick out so much in episode 909 when Negan was leaving Alexandria. First off, when they've done this before, it has seemed slightly jarring, but it hasn't really been that big of a deal. We've just kind of let it slide because there was no reason not to, but in this case it involves someone escaping their jail cell, which is very time sensitive. Normally he would want to do that very quickly. We only noticed it so much this time because it jumped from night to day and Negan is still wandering Alexandria, which made me instantly think, why the hell did you take so long to leave? We don't get anything implying that Negan is escaping during the early AM, so when it jumps from night to day, it really does seem like he was just wandering around waiting for the sunlight to come out before hopping the fence, which is completely illogical and seems kind of forced, just so Negan and Judith can speak. There should have been subtle implications, either visually or vocally, somehow letting the viewers know that Negan was sneaking out early in the morning right before everyone wakes up instead of sometime around midnight or something. Maybe the fact that he went into Judith's home and tried finding her and she wasn't there was supposed to indicate that she was already awake or something, but it just seems like he took a while getting ready, and someone escaping prison after 6 years of being locked in a single jail cell should have been faster at escaping. It's like he purposely wanted to get caught by Judith, so he waited around until morning for her to wake up and find him because he wanted to talk to her before he left. It's almost like all of that was according to plan, like he wanted to have that conversation with her. And if that was the case, how did he know Judith would be the one to find him, especially right then and there? Would Judith always go and check on him every morning or something? If so, this is something that should have been implied already. We know that they have their little chats, but how was Judith the first one to find out Negan was escaping, and then how did she know to instantly come to that exact spot at the wall to find him instead of alerting everyone else in the town? It's like they're trying to chalk it up as a happy coincidence, but it seriously feels forced. Was Negan just choosing a random spot to hop over the wall, or was that a specific spot that both Negan and Judith knew about? Maybe Judith always uses that same spot of the wall to sneak out of Alexandria, and it's possible that she could have told Negan about that during one of their previous chats, but it would just seem foolish for her to give Negan an idea of where to sneak out of Alexandria, right? Even if he did manipulate her to get the information out. It's just that when Negan is going to hop over the wall, he's sure taking his dear sweet time as if he's waiting for Judith to run and find him there. I'm probably overthinking all of that, but I'm just trying to give a possible solution of something that they could have done in order to make this not feel so forced. If we would have known more about what time it was when Negan escaped, or why Judith was the one to find him and confront him at that specific spot in the wall, then it wouldn't feel so illogical and forced, because that just completely breaks the immersion for me. Anyways, let's go ahead and finish up the part of the article. So she goes on to say that the other thing is that perhaps isn't as clear as it should have been is that Judith actually didn't stay at her home overnight. In our minds, she's probably staying with a babysitter, and so when Negan went over to their house and was wandering around, fortunately the children weren't home. We felt Michonne would have gone on a trip over to the hilltop. She would have left Judith and RJ with a trusted family friend. We like to think Judith is having a slumber party with Aaron's daughter Gracie. And, you know, I like that headcanon just because I enjoy the idea of Aaron being a daughter and him, you know, being a father to that adopted baby Gracie from one of the outposts during All Out War, and especially since he had that conversation with Daryl saying that Daryl would enjoy being a father as well. So the whole babysitter situation explains where Judith is, but again, we could have been shown Michonne maybe briefly leaving Judith and RJ with someone at Alexandria, or we could have even had simply one line of dialogue from Michonne talking to someone, giving the necessary exposition of where Judith and RJ are. That actually unintentionally sounded kind of weird because of RJ's name, but also, as I was saying earlier, does Judith normally go and check on Negan every morning? Did she wake up at a babysitter's house, go and check on Negan, and then realize he wasn't there, and then go and check on the one spot where she would always hop over the wall? If that's even a thing, they should have explained this more or given subtle hints or implications of it, then we wouldn't be questioning it. And I find it kind of hilarious that they preemptively created this interview article explaining the illogical points of the episode, as it's like as if they knew people would be wondering. I suppose that they didn't realize how much it stuck out until after they were looking back on the episode in hindsight or something, but with all that being said, this is a very nitpicky thing to be breaking down and complaining over. It's not a big deal, and it just stuck out enough that I felt the need to analyze it and discuss it in video form in its own separate video, as opposed to just mentioning it partway through a different video, but it's still a very minor issue in the episode overall. It is something that can be easily glossed over, but I can also understand it bothering people to the point that it breaks immersion and leaves them scratching their heads. I actually enjoyed episode 909 quite a lot, even though it felt like a normal episode, but that's okay. So it's not like I hated the mid-season premiere or anything, but let me know what you guys thought about all of this down below. Did you notice it during your initial viewing of the episode, it switching night to day with Negan? If so, did it stick out like a sore thumb? Did it even bother you at all? I noticed it at first, but I tried ignoring it as I was so caught up in the Negan-Judith back and forth, but the whole scene was kind of tainted by that looming thought in the back of my head about how Negan waited until daytime to leave, and about just how how strange that felt. I may break down the sneak peek promos for episode 9-10 also, but I haven't done a routine 9-10 trailer prediction video because they never released the 30-second promo to their YouTube channel like they normally do. If you have any suggestions of what else I should break down or do a video topic on, let me know in the comments below, but that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything I've said today, or even subscribe for more Walking Dead content in the near future. Check out my Patreon and my Twitter as well if you'd like, links to both of those in the description. I'm fairly active on Twitter even when I'm not posting videos, and I'm always retweeting everything I can involving the Walking Dead universe, such as these exclusive interview articles and promo images and such as well. But anyways, guys, as always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out!